Hey everybody, sorry for such a long delay in uploading the part 3 of Velociraptor Voxcycle series. There has been so much going on with life lately. I just recently switched to a new job. But yeah, without any delay, let's get into it. And in this series, we will be animating the hands, the tail, and the leg fingers, and maybe some overall polishing if we have some time. I might be using some scripts to increase the speed of the work for this tutorial, and I am planning to upload separate tutorials for manual animation regarding the tail, and how we can achieve more good overlap manually also, because uh, scripts do help you in increasing your speed, but you should always have knowledge of how to do things manually also. So let's start with the tutorial. So last time, as you can see, we had animated the head and the chest. So now we have the hands, the tail, and the leg fingers left, and then we'll be done with the almost everything for this Voxcycle, and then we might be having some jiggle controls and all those things left. So like I was saying, I might be using some scripts for this tutorial, so I would like to suggest you using this script called Overlapper from Dmitry Kolpakov. So this is like an amazing script which you can use to achieve very good overlaps, be it in the tail or the hands or anything. So I will quickly show you how we can use it. So I have it added in my shelf. So basically, once you open the script, I hope the video is recording, right? Yeah. So once you open the script, you have several attributes like softness, scale, wind, and then cycle, hierarchy. So for this one, we will be only using the softness, the scale, and the cycle option, because this is a cycle, right? So we want the first and last pose to be exact same. So how this script works is, you have to select each control in the descending order or the hierarchy. So this is like the parent control of the tail, right? And these are all the childs. So we'll go from the parent, and then its children, and then again the children, so like that till the very end. Okay, you cannot drag and select everything. The script doesn't work properly in that case. So you can select these controllers like that. So these values, right, softness is scale, this is something which you can experiment with by doing it multiple times, and whichever value works best for you, then you can keep it in your animation. So for now, I will just, let's say I'll keep both to 1 and 1, and I'll just turn on the cycle option, okay, because we want the first and last pose to be same. And then I'll just click on overlap. So it will process, and after a few seconds this will be done. You will have key on every frame and on every controller, and you can see we do have some motion in the tail, but right now it feels a bit stiff, so I think we can increase the values in there. So I'll just undo it, and let's say I'll keep them both to 1.5 maybe. You can keep them different also, and then click on overlap again. So let's see how it looks now. This is much better. So you can see we have a very nice overlap from the top view, from the side view. And so one thing which you have to keep in mind is, you cannot rely completely on this script to get overlaps, okay? It might not work many times. You might feel that it's not giving good results, because basically it takes the movement of the parent joint or the controller, you can say. So in this case, we wanted the overlap on the tail, right? So the parent of the tail is basically the hip. So you need to make sure that you animate the hip very properly, and you animate it in all 3 axes. Like in that case only you will get a good movement in the tail or the any other body part you are using the overlapper script on. So you need to make sure that the parent controller is animated properly, otherwise you might not get good results. So in this case, we had animated like the hip in y-axis, z-axis, and even x-axis, all 3 axes, right? As you can see in the graph. So that's why we are getting good motion from the top view also, and from the side view also. And now if we want to do some tweaks on the tail, if I feel like I need to change some poses or update some poses or increase some values, in that case you can just add the controllers in the animation layer, and then you can do the same. I'll go to it at the very last if I feel we could enhance something. So I'll keep it as it is for now, and you can see the tail is animated in like hardly 5 minutes. So for the hands, I am using FK controls only. You can even animate the hands in IK also. It's not something like which is mandatory to animate in FK or IK. It's up to you completely. But for this walk cycle, I will be using the FK, and I have this basic pose setup, the bunny hands type pose setup already. So in this one also I will try using this overlapper script, and let's say again I'll select the controllers from the parent to child, okay, the descending order. So I'll select the shoulder controller, and make sure the global is 0, because otherwise the script might not work properly. So we need to make sure that the first controller is following its parent controller completely. So both of them are 0. So I'll select the shoulder, and then the elbow, and then the wrist. Okay, so let's say I keep the values to 2 and 2 and keep the cycle turned on, and I'll click on overlap. So as you can see, we do have some motion, and it's like overlapping from the front view and the side view also. So I think this looks good enough for the tutorial part at least. Let's do the same on the other side, shoulder, elbow, and then the wrist, and click on overlap, and make sure the cycle option is turned on so that we get the same poses on the first and last frame. We can do that manually also, but it's good to turn it on in the script itself. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, this is pretty good. Okay, so now that we have the basic hand motion, we can animate the fingers according to the wrist movement. For now I won't be doing animating them completely manually. Right now they are intersecting, we'll fix that, but I won't be like animating each controller. Just to save some time, I'll just use these curling attribute to give some overlaps. So I'll just fix this intersection first. Let's say I'll just move them out. Okay, and same with this one, and let's do the same here also. Well, let's say this is like the rough pose we have. We can squeeze them a bit more, like I have done it too much. I have opened the fingers too much, I guess, but let's keep it like this for now. And let's go to the side view. Okay, so we have this curling attributes, so maybe I can keep it and key. So basically what I'll do is I'll try to give the normal overlap or follow through motion we usually give in the body parts, right? So when the fingers are let's say the wrist is moving forward, I think maybe I can close the finger slightly. I'll just experiment it once. Okay, and when the wrist is coming back, right, at that time I can maybe open the fingers, and then again I can close them. So this is a cycle, right? So the middle frame is 20. So let's copy this. Oops. And turn on the infinity. I am using the shortcut Alt 1 and Alt 2 on my keyboard. I have set it for the turning on infinity part. You can also do that by manually by going to curves, pre-infinity cycle, and curves post-infinity cycle. And then by default the graph is something like this, right? So you need to make sure the graph is smooth. Okay, so you need to tweak the first and last keys so that it flows beautifully. Okay, let's see. So I think this is opening too much, I guess. So let's tweak this. Okay, so let's keep it like this, and like right now all the fingers are moving all together, so maybe I can shift no, which one is this? Okay, so I can shift the graph maybe by 1 or 2 frames for the middle finger, so that we have some slight variation. Okay, the ideal way would be to animate the finger controllers manually, so that you have more freedom to give more overlap and organicness in the movement. But just for the sake of this tutorial, and just to save me some time, I'm doing this. I might be making individual videos regarding these small things, like how to achieve good foot roll in walk cycles. People usually struggle with it, and the foot roll looks very stiff instead of being so smooth, and how to animate the tail manually without using this overlapper scripts, and the weight shifts. So these are some smaller things which I am planning to upload separate videos on. So for now, let's keep the fingers like this only, and what I'll do is I'll just make sure we have the graph inside the timeline only, so that I can quickly mirror it. Okay, so we have all we have all the keys inside the timeline only between 0 and 40 frames. So for mirroring, I'll again use Animbot. So I'll just select all the keys and right click on this mirror icon and click on mirror to right. So hopefully that should work. Yeah, maybe I can shift the keys 1 frame, or maybe just to give some variation, I'll select the hand controllers, the shoulder, the elbow and the wrist, and then the finger controllers, and maybe shift the keys 1 frame backwards or front, just so that both the arms are not moving at the exact same time. Okay, so we have the hands done, and we also have the tail. So now again, a major part is animating the fingers, because the fingers add a lot in the foot roll. So I don't know how the skinning is in this rig, but let's see what we can do. So I'll just save the file once, and let's close the overlapper tool. So my usual workflow for animating the fingers is like, first I animate the rotation Y of the fingers we have outside. Okay, so in this case we have 3 fingers, right? One is like this thumb, this middle one, and then we have the ring or the pinky finger, you can say. So usually what I try to do is okay, the axis is not right. You can see this is tilted, but it's okay. So whenever the feet is getting planted, right, at that time what I try to do is I try to open the fingers, just like chicken or ostrich or other animals also, like lioness or tiger. You can see whenever they are planting the foot, the fingers slightly open up and then close again. So let's try to achieve the same thing in this one also. So okay, so whenever the feet, I'll just key it once. So when the feet is getting up, right, at that time I'll move the finger closer to the middle one. Okay, and I'll keep it close. And when the feet is getting planted, at that time I'll start opening the fingers. So let's say this is too much. Let's see the motion first. Okay, so this looks too fast right now. There is no ease out, okay, because the key is suddenly stopping here. So I'll just make a key 2 frames on frame 5, and then I'll make the key on frame 3 as a bit more easing out. So let's see how it looks. Same with this one, I'll make this easing in. This looks better. Okay, so let's keep this animation and okay, so what I'll do is I'll copy the same graph and then paste it on the other outside finger. Like in this case we have the thumb. Okay, it's not even touching the ground. That is weird. Okay, this is rocking, that's why. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I'll just paste the same graph on the rotation Y of this finger, and this might be working in, you know, reverse way. I think the values are, you know, not mirroring properly. So I'll just select the complete graph and I'll press Alt Q on my keyboard. As you have seen in my previous videos, I have added a shortcut to, you know, reverse the keys in my keyboard itself. So I'll just select this and press Alt Q. So that will reverse the complete graph so that we have the, you know, same motion here. So now when the feet is getting up, the, you know, thumb is also getting closer, and when the feet is getting planted, at that time the thumb will, you know, open up. Yeah, so this is about the opening and closing of the fingers. I'll save this. Now we have the curling part. Okay, so whenever we are, you know, whenever there is foot roll happening, so we have the, you know, ball roll happening first, and then, you know, this toe controller, it rotates the feet upwards, and the fingers also, they try to, you know, maintain their position, especially the tip part, so that we get a nice round arc in the fingers. And when the feet gets up, the, you know, the fingers goes backwards and then follows through, and you know, we give some overlap. And when we are planting the feet, if you notice the chicken or the ostrich or emus, at that time, you know, they open the fingers and then, you know, plant the feet. So let's try to achieve that thing. We need to give a, you know, very good what do you call it, arcs in the finger when the feet is getting up. So first I'll animate these two fingers, because these two fingers are the longest one. The thumb is a bit short, so we'll see it at the end. And we need to animate this rotation Y, sorry, rotation Z, my bad. So let's see. So for the fingers, right, this is a bit tricky. Basically what you need to do is, when the feet is getting up, you need to counter animate the fingers. So you can see the, you know, heel is already up in the air. So to give overlap, I'll just counter animate the fingers slightly. So let's say on frame 20 it was on 0, and on frame 24 I rotated the, you know, main controller downwards, the first controller of the fingers. So, and now I'll animate the other controllers. Okay, so we have multiple controls in this one. Cool. So same, I'll put a key on 0, 40 and 20, and on frame 24 I'll try to maybe rotate the child controller slightly upwards. Okay, this we don't have a controller here in this one, so this will be a bit tricky to achieve, but we don't have any other option, so let's try to fake it with these controllers only. So basically I try to, you know, give a round, you know, arc in the fingers. So I'll do the same in this 24. On frame 24 I'll rotate it upwards, maybe, you know, rotate the first controller a bit downwards, because we got the some gap in the between the finger and the leg. Oh, I didn't put a key on this, sorry. I'll make it 0 on frame 0, 40 and 20, and on 24 I'll rotate this downwards. Yeah, and I feel on frame 22 like this is completely straight, right? So let's maybe rotate the first controller a bit more downwards and, you know, counter animate it, so we have this arc happening in the fingers, right? this looks better. Oops. Yeah, so we have this, you know, rolling up movement in the fingers. So what I'll do now is I'll select all the controllers we just animated, okay, and put a key on frame 24 also. And when the feet is getting forward, right, when the foot is getting forward, at that time I'll, you know, maybe rotate the fingers inwards. Let's make them 0 first and then rotate them inwards. And we are planting the feet here, right? So like I was saying, let's try to give that chicken pose. So I'll rotate the fingers a bit more downwards and give some variation in the position. Let's say I'll rotate this one a bit more so that the middle one is, you know, visible slightly. Okay, this looks too much. I think we also have this other controller. Where it is? This one. Yeah, so this was like animated too much, so let's reduce the value of this. So according to the fingers, you might have to, you know, tweak few things in the legs also. Yeah, we don't have good scaling in this part. That's okay. So let's try to give some, you know, leading movement here. Maybe they start rotating upwards already. Yeah. Okay, so I'm, you know, tweaking few things along. So I just, you know, slightly tweaked the ankle part, as I felt it was like rotated too much downwards. So I rotated it upwards slightly on this pose, and then, you know, made the infinity curves smoother. So maybe let's try to give a bit more overlap in this finger so that we have some variation. Yeah, this is much better. So I'm not very happy with the landing part, but let's see what we can do. Yeah. So this is like more of a, you know, controlled foot plants, right? That's why I'm not giving any bounce in the fingers. If this was a tiger walking or a lion walking, or let's say some crocodile like I had recently animated, so in that case I would have given, you know, the bounce in the fingers. So this thing, right, whenever the foot plants and we get some bounce in the fingers, but this is like more of a controlled foot plant, right? So we are not giving any bounce in this one. So let's mirror the complete animation to the other side. So I'll delete, or yeah, let's do this. I'll delete the complete animation of these controllers, and now I'll select these controllers, Make sure everything is on the timeline between frame 40 and 20. Select all the frames, go to mirror and tool in Animbot, right click on it and mirror to right. I hope okay, we'll have to reverse the values of translate X. Sorry, yeah, I think I did something wrong. Let me see. Yeah, reverse this, and also this is rotation Z, so we'll have to reverse this also. Something feels off to me. Okay, rotation Y also, I guess. Yeah, better now. And for the ankle controls also, we'll have to reverse the keys, I guess. Okay, so no, let's select the controllers on the right, on the side we just mirrored the animation on, and let's move all the keys to frame 20, because the other footstep is starting the other side, right? This right side, the cycle is starting from frame 20 and this is like the middle frame. So let's see now. Yeah, yes, so you can see we have this play or the opening of the fingers visible from the back view also, and we have a nice smooth landing and a very smooth peel off also, and the tail is also looking nice. So like I said, everything depends on the parent controller, so you need to make sure you animate the hip properly if you are planning to use the overlapper tool. Otherwise you need to animate the tail manually. So let's I forgot to animate the thumb, right? Let's do this one also quickly. I'll put a key on frame 0. So this is like let's say I'll make it touch the ground on first and last frame, and I'll make it 0 here. Let's so I'll put a key on frame 20, and on frame 24 you can see the thumb is already going so much upwards. So we won't be able to make it touch the ground, but let's just try to give some overlap in there, as if it was trying to touch the ground. At least in this part I can do that. So at least this tip is touching the ground, and we have very less distance between this skin part and the ground here. So, and here also I can, let's say I'll put it 0 and give more overlap in here. I hope the first and last frame is same. Something is wrong. Yeah, let's make the cycle smoother. Same for the other graph. So let's mirror the animation of these two controllers also. I'll select the first controllers and right click on mirror tool and click on mirror to right, and I'll just quickly shift the animation of these two controllers to frame 20. Yeah, great. So we have majority of the body already done. So I hope this was helpful. I know I used this script to speed up the workflow, and you know didn't share how to animate the hands and tail manually, but I'll be doing that very soon in a separate video also. So in that case, just to speed up our workflow and to save you some time, you can use these type of scripts. And let's call this video done, and in the next video I'll complete this Velociraptor walk cycle. So I'll be animating the jiggle controllers. I won't be animating them too much. Okay, so this is something wrong with the skinning, like the front one is controlling the back and the back one, I think the position is messed up, so we'll have to replace the controllers. So yeah, like I was saying, I'll be animating the jiggle controllers and maybe some more these kind of reactions or shakes maybe in the neck. Okay, so these 3 controllers like this, and then we have the belly part also. So we'll try to make it slightly more organic using these controllers, and we'll call this cycle done. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll be seeing you again very soon. Thank you.